went to school to learn the insidious arts. When he graduated, it was with insidious farts. Now he conquers heroes by blessing them with his blooper. He's the one and only gas-powered villain, the insidious Dr. Chupa!
Howdy folks, it's the Insidious Dr. Chupa here with another video. We are playing WWE 2k17, and we had some questions about getting textures in the game in general, and in particular, getting faces in the game and getting them lined up right and everything. There are two major options for getting this done for yourself. I'm going to go through and show you the pros and cons, and show you step by step how to do it. The first option will be the in-game option. It's not my favorite, but it does have some advantages. So we're going to go to Face, and we're going to go to Face Photo Capture. Now, do this at the beginning of the game. Not the beginning of the game, but the beginning of your edit, because if you morph any of the head or facial features, you will lose all of that morphing once you apply one of these textures. Now, we're going to be using this guy as a template here shortly. I'll show you how we're going to do all that because he lines up the best. I mean, as you can see, this is like the one that lines up and doesn't look absolutely fucking horrible right off the bat. But, getting ahead of myself, this guy's a good template if you're doing it later in the game or if you don't want to mess with some of this shit. So, we're going to go back. And we're going to pick someone that's a little more jacked up, like this chick. She's got a crooked nose. Her eyes are off center. Now, the first thing you're going to notice about face photo capture is that the X and Y axes are locked. You cannot adjust for width or height independently. It just gets bigger and smaller, but it also does it smoother. Custom logos in the game, you can like click on the D-pad and it'll just do it a little bit, but this is actually a smooth scaling, which actually makes it a little bit more useful. Now with this chick, if you line up her lips and then you try to line up the nose, which we're trying, see, I mean her nose is crooked in comparison with where her eyes are, and this is one part that I'm going to show you that's actually kind of interesting. We'll do the face outline later, you can do that. Okay, now this is one of the major differences. In this mode, you can morph underneath the texture without the texture locking to whatever you're doing. So you can actually, and plus you've got the texture there to work off of. So you can actually go through, change everything so that it matches what the person looks like. This was actually one of the parts I was confused about because Bandit had mentioned seeing a video where someone had done all the morphing and then had gotten rid of the texture and it still kind of looked like them, and I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because I've been working with custom logos where that is not the case. Anyway, but as you can see, you know, you can morph underneath. That's kind of cool. Definitely for a beginner because you can see exactly what you're doing and you don't have to have, there's no guesswork involved is what I'm saying basically. Also, and we're just, I mean, yeah, that doesn't look good, but if you take your time, you can make it look good. Another cool thing is you can go to skin color pickup and it'll actually match the skin color of your texture depending on where you drop the little circle that collects the sample. So you can, you know, eventually get it at least somewhat matched up. This is not a great example because you've got so much hair on this chick. But, you know, what are you going to do? Another cool thing is once you do this, the face texture goes to both attires. If you insert a face as a custom logo, you'll have to put it on each attire individually, or I guess you could put it on the first one and then copy, but my point is it's not automatic. And the other big thing, the major difference is you can put layers over these faces. And I'll show you what I mean real quick. We'll go to attire. We'll edit it up. go to appearance, hair and facial parts. And yeah, I know it's an ugly, ugly, ugly thing right now. But like eyebrows, if you use a custom logo, you can't put individual eyebrows over it. Now you might not want to, and that's fine. You could always, just pick one of the smaller ones here, make it a little bit more opaque or whatever. It's not a big deal if you don't want to do it. The big thing is, though, you can put face paint over these. If you use a custom logo, you cannot do that. But then again, you could also use your graphic editing software to make any pattern you want instead of using the in-game patterns. So basically, in my humble opinion anyway, using the face photo capture, it's great if you're starting off creating a wrestler and you want to get the face as accurate as possible. You want to get all the morphing done and everything. But if you've already created a character or you want more creative control, manually working with the texture itself, then going with the second method is what I would recommend. Now, okay, the first thing we're going to do is create a template for our texture. Again, we're using this guy because he lines up pretty well with everything. I'm going to go ahead and crop that, and we're going to change the image size because if you want some really good detail, first thing you're going to want to do is up the resolution to 300 pixels per inch, and the size needs to be, no matter what you're doing, 512 by 512. Okay, so now there's our buddy. Isn't he cute? Alrighty, and here is my picture. Isn't he just darling? Okay, we're going to go ahead and take this. Actually, we don't need the whole damn thing. We just need the face, pretty much. Now, some tips. You do want your eyes to be closed. You want a neutral position with your mouth. Don't smile. Don't open your mouth. Don't have your teeth showing, because if you do, it's just going to be troublesome. Alright, let's get the middle up here, and then we're going to shrink this significantly. Alrighty. Now we want to line this up with our template, which I will provide a link to in the description in case y'all want to mess with it. I'm going to change the opacity to 50% because we want everything to line up as best we can. Alright. Okay, get that mouth. Now, don't be afraid to mess with the aspect ratio a little bit. Yeah, you're going to have to adjust it for height and all that other good shit. Just keep playing with it until everything lines up as close as you can get it. Alright, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and finish that off, and boom. Okay, so here is my very, very basic texture. There are a few different ways to do this, but I'm using Photoshop CS6. You can use GIMP or whatever, free software, or, use Photoshop if you have it. Pen tablets also help and all that. First off, though, you'll notice that my eyes kind of droop because, yeah, getting older, folks. That's the way it happens. So I'm going to fix that first. I'm going to go and I'm going to puppet warp this sumbitch. Gonna make sure none of the outside actually moves. I'm just trying to straighten up my eyeballs because they be crooked. Okay, so we're gonna make sure the nose doesn't move, and we're gonna make sure the mouth doesn't move. Okay, basically all around the eyes, just don't want anything moving. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the inner corner. And then I'm going to pull up the outer corner so it's more of a straight line. And I mean, this is perfectionist dog shit, but it does make the texture look better, so I'm going to pull up the center so it's more of a straight line instead of a downward arch. And it's not going to look perfect, but you know, what texture ever does. Okay, so hit OK, bam. Now, that's going to look a lot better as a texture. If you can actually go in and erase your eye sockets all together, just depends on how much, you know, detail you want. Because I've got some bags here, and, you know, got the lines, and of course, oops, didn't mean to do that. Also, haven't shaven in a bit, so that's a downside. But, okay, so we're going to take the smudge tool, not tour, and my pen, because it'll make it easier. We're just going to start smudging stuff. You want to try to make the color stretch out as far as possible. Yes, the game will blur the edges like it does. Yada, yada, yada. Now, I already have one of these kind of finished up, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that texture up instead of doing this all again, but you get it. I mean, you go through, you smudge it. You can also, if you really wanted to, just go ahead and pick a color from your face and spadoinkle, but then you have to deal with the background, deleting it out. Either way, just try to get the color all the way out. Now, if you have a dark color on the underside, like a hairy chin and face, you're going to want to do something like this. Okay, this here is my finished texture. What I did was I made a circular cut because of my hairy chin, because otherwise you're going to have a dark line at the bottom of the neck. I just made a circular selection and copied and pasted that, and then I took my smudged version, smudgy, and copied and pasted that, and then I desaturated it, because if you basically when you put colors into this, they tend to get brighter. So we jumped in here and hit hue saturation and dropped the saturation a little bit. Not that much, but we did drop it some. Alright, but anyway, so we've got this prepared. Looks pretty decent. We also dropped the eyebrows a little bit. Just a little bit more morphing. Maybe a little bit too low, but you know, hey, whatever. This is just a quick demonstration. But so you got your texture, looks like this. Now again, if you don't have facial hair, or if you're a woman, and hopefully you don't have facial hair, you can just keep smudging all the way down. The only thing is, you know, you just want to watch out for this bottom line, because sometimes that bottom line will end up popping up on the neck, and then you've got a big discoloration and it looks stupid, and it's just a struggle. Okay, so now we've got this saved already. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put this into the game. So we're going to go back to the game. Okay, back here in 2K17, we're going to go over to Community Creations, go down to Logo Manager, and we've already got a logo token generated, but we're going to hit the right stick to do a new one, because that old one I'm sure has expired. They only last about 10 minutes. Okay, so now we have that token. We need to enter it into the website. Okay, and here we are on the 2K17 website. It's in the instructions that are in the game itself if you hit the menu button. But it is https blah 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 WWE 2k17.2k.com / WWE 2k17 logo / and that will take you here. So you enter in your logo. So we've got EDTUBUIUBKZ. And now we have the upload options. Now, you want face photo if you're going to be using the face photo capture, obviously. Hit browse. We are looking for face 04 ping. Bam, there that goes. And just in case you're wanting to try the second method where you're using the face as a custom logo, you'll want to upload that as a 512 by 512 up here instead of as a face photo, or do both. It doesn't really matter. You know, experiment. You do you. Sometimes it'll show you a preview of the file once it's uploaded, but as long as the browse button pops up, it should be uploaded. The site's kind of buggy. So we'll go to 512 by 512. Come on. We'll try to. There we go. And we'll upload the same thing as a custom texture so we can show you both them motherfuckers. Alright, so we're going to jump back into the game and download the textures from the site. Alrighty, so now we are back in Logo Manager. We're going to hit the X button and change from local to incoming. And there are our textures. You select them, you download. Simple, easy, yada yada yada. And then you wait for the other one. There we go. And we download that sucker. Okay, so now we have our facial textures actually in the game. We are going to go back to New Custom Superstar so I can show you how the first option there kind of works out. Okay, here we are. We go to Face, Photo Capture, scroll over to Downloaded. As you can see, I'd already downloaded it before, but, you know, purposes of this video and this being an update and everything. You get it all nice and lined up. Don't need to rotate it any. And now we could go into facial region and do some crazy things. Morphing this stuff, but we're not really going to do a whole lot of that. I'm just showing you the differences, so you know, but you can go ahead and put, you know, wrinkles and stuff over it if you want to, because why wouldn't you? There, crow's feet from hell. That's awesome. Okay, skin color pickup. Again, this is kind of nifty. You want it to match up as good as possible, so about right there. Looks pretty good. So now we don't have to worry about the skin color matching. Definitely a perk. Now, like I said, with this, we're going to go to Edit Attire, Appearance, and again, you can put any of these layers over the face, and that is one major benefit. If I want to go to Face Paint and throw that on him, well, that kind of defeats the purpose of what I just did. But, you know, I have the availability to do it. If I want to put lipstick on him, yeah, I can put that. Yeah, baby, look at it. And definitely the eyebrows. I mean, those are not my eyebrows at all. Not that this looks like me at all either. Anyway, you get the point. You can put layers over the face a lot easier if you face morph it first. Again, I like to do a lot of my stuff actually in graphics software, but if you're looking for the easy way to go, this is it. But again, you're, you know, kind of locked into having those X and Y axes locked. You cannot adjust for, you know, width or any of that other fun stuff. So now I'm going to show you the custom logo side of things. Alrighty, we're going to do the custom logo, and I've loaded up my custom wrestler, the Chupa, who is based on me as much as I possibly could in this game. We're going to go to Attire. I want to make an unmasked version of him. So, we're going to copy this into slot 2. Now, as soon as it we're going to edit that sucker. As soon as it'll let us edit the attire, baby. Okay, since I'm bald, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, you know, all of his stuff, unmasked, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to delete the headgear. Alright. Then we're going to go to Appearance, and we're going to get rid of that makeup, and we're going to get rid of the hair. Alright. As you can see, it doesn't look horribly unlike me, except for the piercing green eyes, the darker eyebrows, and yada yada, whatever. Just get rid of those because we're not going to need them. We are basically using the face as a custom logo, which gives us a little bit more actual control over making it fit right without morphing. This is perfect for, again, something where you've already done the wrestler. and you don't want to lose all of your morphing and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna go to Face Art, Custom Logos. We're gonna find our custom logo, which is about right here-ish. Alright, there it is. La 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 la. Now again, with this method, you will have to worry about getting the color right when you change the skin color. Okay, that fits pretty well. Check that out. So now we have him all pretty much wrapped up. The only problem is now if you go to face paint, you... Okay, that's weird. Yesterday it wouldn't let me put face paint over it. This game is so screwy, I swear to God. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, well, I don't understand. It wouldn't let me put face paint on it yesterday, but now it will. Okay, well, the downside is apparently that sometimes you can't put face paint over it. Alright, but anyway, as I was saying, I mean, you have independent control over the X and Y axes. You can do it at any point in editing your character, even, you know, as late. I've had this dude done for 6 months. You know, sometimes you can't layer stuff over the face. And if you already have like a couple of attires, you're going to have to change that manually. If you go to face deformation, blah, 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 you don't get to see the texture as you're morphing. But the thing is, it sticks to the morphing. So if I move the eyebrows up here, and move the eyes down here, and move the nose up here, and move the lips all the way down here, now you can see that the texture actually moves with the morphing. The eyes don't go shooting down into the cheeks. The eyebrows aren't way up on the forehead. You're actually able to morph with the texture attached to the face, which to me is a pretty valuable thing, personally. It's a personal preference. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw up a graphic with the lists. Again, with the face photo capture, you lose your X and Y individual morphing abilities. You want to do it at the beginning. It doesn't move with the morphing. You got the auto skin tone, which is a plus. It automatically goes on to all of your attires, which again, also a plus. And you can use layers over the face. With the custom logo, you can do it anytime you want. You do have the individual X and Y axes, so you can adjust it just about as much as you want to. It moves with the morphing. You do have to match the skin tone manually, which can be difficult at times. If you've already created your character, you will have to add it to each attire manually. And sometimes you can't have layers over the face, which seems to have gotten disproven here. That just absolutely sucks. I mean, it's good, but it kind of sucks because it's unpredictable. I mean, last night I could not put face paint on the Chupster here. But anyway, and you have to, if you're going to morph the face at all, you might want to do it before you actually put the skin on, because you can't see the texture once you've entered the morphing menu. So that's pretty much it. You can make your dude, you can make yourself, you can make whatever you want. Two major options there, just depends on which one works best for you. If you're just kind of starting out, I would personally recommend just going with the face photo capture. If you want a little bit more control, where you can actually get in there and massage that texture until you've got it exactly where you want it in some actual editing software, and put any kind of face paint you want on it, then you're going to need to go with the custom logo method. That's pretty much it. I'm out. I've been the insidious Dr. Chupa. Thanks for sticking with me through this, and if you have any questions, or if you would like to see me do something else, or if you're interested in OCW, just go ahead and drop a message. Thanks for being here, and I'll see y'all later. Like, subscribe if you want to, and just generally have a great flippin' day, because I know I'm gonna. See y'all later. Bye. Hey folks, if you want to see more of my stuff, you can click over here to see some of the newest videos. You can click up here to check out OCW, my fantasy wrestling e-fed, or you can just go down here, like, subscribe, and whatever else. We love ya. Bye.